Hey, everybody. It is TCT President Josh Bailey. Sorry about the delay. I was trying to go live several times, and one of the times I did manage to go live, but it was only on the YouTube, my YouTube channel, and not my Facebook page or the TCT Facebook page. And when you get on here, drop a karate gi emoji in the chat so I know you guys are here. Say hey in the chat. I'm about to pull up the chat right now in the comment section. Maybe. All right. So I hope you guys are having a good night. We have been busy all day picking up mats, loading up trailers. My instructor, Coach Rick Lee, he was there all day at the dojo helping us out, getting things ready and organized, as he has done this many times because the Great Southeast was his tournament all throughout the 90s and early 2000s. So tomorrow is the big day, March 20th and 21st at the Greenville Convention Center. We are kicking things off with breaking tomorrow. Breakers, you can get there as early as 12 o'clock and start bringing in your materials. Go ahead and get signed in, checked in. If we have all of our registered breakers there by 4 o'clock, we will start. If they're not there, then 4:30 is when we'll officially get started with breaking. So just want to go through the rules real quick. Go through just like a rules meeting, judges meeting type thing, so that way we're prepared. I've got the copy of the new TCT rule book, general rules, TCT membership. Everybody that's registers for a TCT tournament has a $20 yearly membership fee, and that will keep your your ranking ratings throughout the whole season. It'll be tracked on myuventex.com. Competitor age, whatever age you were January 1st, you can compete all year that year. Now, if you are turning 18 later this year and you want to go ahead and bump up into the 18 plus, you can do that as well. Anybody turning 35 or 50 or 60 this year, those are those magic numbers throughout this year. If you turn one of those, you can go ahead and bump up and move up into the next division. Competitor rank, novice, intermediate, advanced, black belt. Make sure you're wearing that color belt that represents the division you are in. Now, the arbitrator, Mr. Magic Johnson, will be on hand, and any explanation of rank and years at skill that's in question have to go through him. We're all open martial arts events at TCT, so it could be that your second belt is red belt, and other schools red is advanced. So that just we're we're all open martial arts events. So your ranking system, long as the typical guideline that we kind of follow is first three belts, second three belts, third three belts kind of thing. If you have that many belts, if you don't, then it's split up by years at skill level. If you enter a novice division at TCT, you can only enter novice divisions for 2 seasons. After 2 seasons, you got to move up to intermediate, move up to advanced, and eventually move up to black belt. I'm very excited. I was looking at the numbers and all the people that are registering for the as registered for the tournament, and there's a lot of really good competition. I'm excited about our junior black belt divisions this year. Those are going to be some breakout superstars this year in the junior black belt division. So I hope everyone keeps an eye on the junior black belts because it's going to be really cool. Now, right now, as of 8/11 on March 19th, we have 256 registered competitors. So we're gonna be looking good this weekend. A lot of competition, a lot of good stuff going on the mat. Number of divisions, you can compete at any division that you qualify for, any of them. What's up, Mr. Caleb Addison, TCT Director? How you doing, sir? Hope you're ready for breaking tomorrow. Competitors' health. Okay, main thing is we follow a protocol on concussions. If you have a concussion, you have a mandatory minimum of a 30-day recovery period following our concussion and recognition tool. So, and Mr. Bramlett, thank you, sir. You're one of the ones that help us with that as well, getting that TCT concussion recognition tool in place. Now, location of judges is slightly different this year. Corner judges will be in the corner. I know that's like, what? Corner judges in the corner? Aren't they always in the corner? But so we call the center judge that sits in the center, the one that's leading the ring, the center judge. And then the ones beside them are corner judges. Now, for optics, we're not going to have them sitting right beside each other. We're not going to have them kind of spaced out just a little bit. We're going to have corner judge in the corner judge in that corner, center judge in the middle. Now, that way, one of the things that we talk about in the judges meeting too is we want our judges to keep their feet out of the ring. Okay, so don't put your feet on the mat while someone's performing and doing their forms. You might hear a little puppy whining in the background. If you can, he's fine. I promise, he's okay. Now, number of competitors, the magic number is 12. If any of our divisions hit 13, and there's a lot of them actually, they have more than 13 competitors, and a lot of it is the 6 and 7, or even the 7 and under novice divisions. So our novice divisions are going to be stacked this year. Our junior black belt divisions, like I was telling you, there's a lot of people that are making that jump up to black belt this year. There's a lot of our black belts that are moving up to the next age bracket as well. So throughout the entire black belt division, throughout the little guys, the 6, 7, the 7 and under novice divisions are going to be stacked. And it's just as fun to watch those guys as it is to watch the black belts. I love watching those guys. Now, readiness rule, make sure when you get called up, 2 minutes. And we always use that as a rule of thumb. You got a 2-minute warning to be at the ring or you're disqualified. I promise you, we're not in the game of disqualification. If there's a legitimate reason why we can't get you to the ring within that 2 minutes, we're going to give you some grace and mercy. Okay, but there have been times to where emails sent out, text messages sent out. Hey, have you seen so and so today? We look, coordinators look, scorekeeper looks, judges will look, and this kid goes to this school. I know their coach, and I haven't seen them here all day either. We'll move on. We go to the next division or start that division without you being checked in. The rings at my tournament this year are going to be 6x6, 20x20. And I have spent the last 2 weeks steam cleaning and scrubbing and scuffing the new mats to break them in. And we got them stacked, loaded up on a trailer, ready to rock and roll. Now, poor sportsmanship. We haven't really had many incidences with that, but it is in the rule book just in case it pops up, and it's pretty cut and dry. That's when we are in the game of disqualification. If you're being disrespectful to the judges, if you're being disrespectful to anyone that's in the ring, anybody that's competing, scorekeepers, yeah, we're all about black belt excellence in all aspects of life. So that means even the way you conduct yourself when you lose. Okay. Now, coaches, managers, every 5 pre-register competitors. Miss Carissa Merchant, our TCT commissioner, has been reaching out to all of the teams that have more than 5 competitors registered, more than 10, more than 15. This is the most that my team, my school is personally bringing to an event, and I'm excited. We have 28 competitors registered from SMA. And a lot of them are going to be in that 6 and 7-year-old age group. Got a lot of new first timers coming out to compete and get out there on the mat. Now, and then also in the rules on the website, if you look at this, there's a chart that this makes it pretty simple, cut and dry. Okay. And that was Zordon calling me to the command center. Now, but Protest. All right, coaches. Sorry, I skipped one. Coaches meeting. Okay. Yes, Mr. Ramlett. Miss Merchant is amazing. And we've been communicating through text, through phone calls, and keeping her in the loop, keeping me in the loop. And she has really helped grow and develop this circuit over the last 4 seasons, and moving into season 5. Nothing's changed with her. She is on fire. She's ready to rock and roll just like we are. Now, the coaches meeting will be led by Miss Merchant. Tomorrow, we do have open rank sparring going on at the tournament. So we will have a coaches and managers meeting when she gets there. And she will be there right at 5:15. Okay, so we will have that meeting then to let everyone kind of go over a couple of highlight rules of sparring. That's really what that meeting is about, is talking about the coaching for sparring, because that's really the only coaching that we allow at tournaments. The manager passes, that does help you get those younger kids. They have some more feet on the floor, helping the younger kids get to their rings. Okay, so that is something that will happen. The filing the protest, you can file a protest with the TCT arbitrator only after the competitor scores points penalties pertaining to the arbitration has been awarded, but before the next division has started. And in sparring, sparring protests must be done at time of violation or before the next match starts. Okay, so that next match is not going to start. Don't go off and try to find the arbitrator without letting the center judge know, hey, I'm filing a protest. Hey, I need the arbitrator. Okay, they will take care of it, get him over, and be ready to rock and roll. The fairness rule is simply, if it's something that's not written in this book somewhere and it's one of those gray areas, the final decision will be made by the arbitrator that day about that rule that popped up. And a lot of times throughout the seasons, those gray area rules end up being black and white the next season, because they tend to pop up a few times throughout the season. Now, the forms and weapons rules, 3-minute time limit. There is a .05 deduction for your total score after every 10 seconds. That rarely happens. Rarely. That will happen sometimes in a traditional division that someone just ended up going a little slower than they thought, or a little slower than they anticipated. But a lot of our forms are within that minute to minute and a half time frame, depending on the intro, depending on showmanship, depending on creativity, depending on musical choreography. So that's typically not an issue going over 3-minute time limit. And just to touch on that real quick, if you are one of those guys that are looking at Uventex and going, my division is supposed to be at 11:15 and it is 11:17 and we're not started. Those on there are guidelines. Okay. And if you're looking for sparring divisions on Uventex right now, point sparring is not mapped into their rings. And that is by design, that is on purpose. I know what rings I'm going to drop them into, okay, as when the time comes, but we're not going to do that until after competition is over tomorrow, because tomorrow those winners of the creative forms and weapons and musical divisions will be put into the grands divisions, and the grands divisions will be ran before point sparring starts. So if I had them already in there right now, little Johnny's mama is going to be looking and see, hey, they're supposed to spar at 11:30. And then all of a sudden she looks and goes, they're not sparring until 12:30. What happened? It's because if I put that in there right under that last forms division, right now, grands have 0 competitors in it. No one's won a division. But as divisions finish and as divisions have winners, they will automatically be funneled into that grands division, which then it will say, hey, we've got 10 people in this grands division. They get 3 minutes each. So 3 times 10 is 30 minutes. So it essentially would take 30 minutes to run that division, and then it will bump your time down by 30 minutes. Now, again, it may say 11:15 on your division on Uventex. We might get to it quicker because everyone doesn't take those 3 minutes. but then we might have a tie, or then we might have a judge bathroom break situation that needs to happen, or we might have an arbitration happen, or someone's weapon may break and they have to restart. And that's one of the only restarts that you get in forms of weapons. If your weapon breaks, 5 minutes, go get a new one, come back, restart, no penalty, no penalty. No penalty if your weapon breaks and you have to go get another one and restart. No penalty if if the speaker malfunctions, the music messes up, and you have to restart. No penalty. Now, that is right there, no restarts. Intros, no introductions. We're not doing the bow, walk up, judges, my name is, I'm from, I've been doing martial arts. This is me. This is my coach. This is my sensei. This is where my style of martial arts came down from off the mountaintop. Bow, we've got all your information we need right there on our TV screen. We know your name. We see your picture. Okay. You come up, you bow, you go ready stance, and you do your form as hard as you can, as best as you can. Then scoring. Since this is my tournament, I'm going to ask the judges and scorekeepers and coordinators to try something brand spanking new for scoring. Now, something that's happened throughout the season kind of organically. We've never said this is how we want it to do. You have to do it this way, do it like this. But something that's happened organically because we all kind of pay attention to what each other's doing and how the flow works. So if we line up the 10 competitors on the sideline and we have competitor 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, then what happens is when competitor 1 comes up, does their form, and goes to sit back down, they've been going to the end of the line and everyone shifts down. Okay. Now, one moment, please. Let me get this crying puppy. Come on inside. Come here. Come here, Dojo. Okay. Okay. You want to see everybody? Say, hey, Dojo. Say, hey, Dojo. Say, I'm vicious. Oh, no. That's not vicious. Yeah. He's gotten a lot bigger in the last month a month and a half that we've had him. And he has developed a really awesome personality, if you want to call it awesome. But so what we're going to do is at the end of the division, all 10 have went. Judges have kept their notes. They've made their tallies. They know which score they want to give to each competitor. What we're going to do, instead of bow, walk, turn, bow, go up, ready stance in front of the judges in the center of the ring, and then corner judge can't see the score, so we kind of lean this way, or one person will stand over in the corner, and then the center judge says, no, come over here and stand, right? So none of that. What we're going to do is you'll be right here. Competitor 1 will bow, turn, score, right off. 2, 3, 4, 5. Just bow, turn, ready stance, get your score, step off. Bow, turn, ready stance, get your score, step off. You don't have to do the conveyor belt to where we're going down and around, go this way, come back around, stand in the middle, not all of that. Okay. Yes, Miss Lauren, that is your boy, and he's one of the reasons why you are one of the reasons why he is as spoiled as he is. All the karate mamas at the dojo will pick up and hold Dojo, and he thinks he has to be carried everywhere we go because he is just a little baby who needs to be carried everywhere. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Yes, and his name is Dojo. He is yes, Mr. Bramlett. He is a blue nose pit and bully XL breed. Mom was one, dad was the other. He's a rescue dog. I'm actually going to take him and probably have him do the DNA test on him and my other dog too, because we're not quite sure what he is either. He's got something in him, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. All right. Now, scoring range, nothing's changed on scoring range. 9-8 to 9-9 for the underbelts, 9-9 to 10 for the black belts. Okay. One thing that we put into black and white is for everyone to see. that if I think you get first place, then I give you a 9.90 if you're an underbelt. Black belt, you can get a 10. So if my highest score is 9.9 instead of 10, that goes to the first place. 9.8, 9.7, 9.6. And me as a judge, I only give that score to one of the competitors. Even if there's 12, the magic number is 13. If there's 13, the division splits automatically. Okay, so then it will be 6 in this division, 7 in this division. Okay, but still 199, 198, 197, 196. Okay, and as a judge, you can give multiple 9.95s, you can give multiple 9.4s. You don't have to give a lot of multiple 9.3s, 9.2s. Okay, because 5th through 8th place gets the same amount of points. That's called the finalist. The finalist gets the same amount of points. The top 4 get different point values for each place. Now, ties are broken mathematically, or not mathematically, sorry. Ties are broken by majority if they end up tied. Okay? If they end up tied, the majority. So what does that mean? Judge 1 gave the high score to competitor 1. Judge 2 gave the high score to competitor 2. Judge 3 gave the high score to competitor 1. So 1 got 2 high scores. They will win. Okay, by majority. That's like a split decision in fighting competitions. Now, if for some reason, maybe by penalty for deduction of introduction or penalty for weapons drop, maybe the or a judge gave the same score. Okay, that they gave out 9.98 to 2 people. Okay, we're going to try to avoid that as much as possible. But if for some reason 9.98, 9.98, they got to go again because there's not going to be a majority. There is this judge gave the higher score to this person. This George, which way did he go, George? Sorry, ADD, vocal stem. But they gave the same score to this person. So, yep, got to go again. Now let's go over contemporary forms and weapons. Made up or altered traditional forms utilizing martial arts stances, strikes, blocks, kicks, blended with trick kicks, gymnastic skills, weapon manipulations, and weapon releases. Okay. Now, that will go into this big highlighted, bolded, underlined section of performance. Performance. Okay. I want you to look right here in this. Oh, wait a second. In this word, performance. Ready? Form. Okay. So in your performance, in your form, in a contemporary division, must have elements of stances, punches, kicks, blocks that preserve the integrity of martial arts. 75% of your routine needs to be the blocking and striking based from their style. Other 25%, weapon spins and manipulations, gymnastic techniques, and tricks. The degree of difficulty will be factored into the score. So if you go out there and you do something that's on the level of bow form 1 in a black belt division, and I go out there and I do my form where I'm doing all the spins, flips, and tricks, and I bobble a little bit on my one of my catches or wiggle in my stance when I hit, I may still win because of the degree of difficulty. But if that other performance of Form 1 was just outstanding, hard blocks, yeah, loud, like Mark Colley said, Kia, all those loud performance things, there's a chance that that wins over the sloppiness of a form that has these martial arts tricks and gymnastic skills that are not landed in control. That's the next section, the control of the technique. Okay, so going out of bounds. Okay, going out of bounds is not like an automatic you get a point something deduction like it would be like in gymnastics. It's, a lot of other sports have these rules. If something touches the floor or you lean this way or take an extra step or all that stuff, you get an automatic deduction. Well, that we leave that up to the interpretation of our judges. Okay? If you step out of bounds, you're probably going to get a deduction. You will get a deduction if I was a judge. Okay? And so, and if you do a flip and you land, bam, stance, awesome. You stuck it. If you do a flip, land, whoa, 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 then that's going to be a deduction in my head. Okay, Mr. Addison, yes, sir, it's showtime. Okay, speaking of showtime, okay, I know most of you guys know where that phrase comes from, and yes, Mr. Doug Armstrong will be in the building judging breaking. He's not breaking, but he's going to be there for breaking for sure. He's bringing some material. We're excited to see him on the mat this weekend. Now, choreography for music, okay, I highlighted it and underlined it. It's always been there, okay, but there's been a lot of people talking to me about this, okay, because they know that, when I did the NBL musical divisions and I was, one of the top level competitors, I was in the top 5 out of 5. Yeah, I was, at the top, and one of my things was my form was like super choreographed, and I kept it for like 5 years because it was choreographed. Now I did make modifications, but I kept the same music, which was I know it was a little, we get it. Use a different music. I'm just kidding, but no, it was deductions in score may be made at the judge's discretion for performing a form not choreographed to their song. Fast form, fast music, not technically choreographed, but you don't have to do Eye of the Tiger and go bump, 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 bump. Okay, would that look good? Sure. But also, let's take into consideration degree of difficulty. If you're doing a fast form and then you're hitting these beats going boom, 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 and then fast boom, boom, pop, 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 boom, boom, boom. Okay? Yes, that's what we're looking for. That makes the performance of a choreographed musical form look really awesome. Okay? In the NBL days, there was a choreography score. Okay? We don't do that. We just factor that into your overall score, your technical score. Okay. Now, yes, how severe do we penalize a dropped weapon or missed catch? Great question. Because if you drop your weapon, it is an automatic deduction in score. Now, as a judge, we'll give you some grace and mercy. If you drop your weapon, boom. Sorry, I'm reading the comment as it's coming through. Yes, I've been waiting to demonstrate the Eye of the Tiger. I'm telling you, pop, 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 pop. Okay. Now, Mr. Gonzalez, thank you so much for taking the time to comment on here. Sometime later this year, TCT, we would love to see you back out there on the mat. Your nunchuck routine to music is fantastic. Choreography is spot on. It's fast. You're hitting I'm sorry. I'm not going to go into the music again. I promise. Now, Macarena can be switched out. Hey, I've seen people do YMCA. Mr. Edwin Alejandro, I believe you did. I like to move it at one point in time, but I digress. You drop a weapon and it is automatic deduction. The center judge, when that competitor comes up for score, will signal to the scorekeeper to take a deduction of 0.05 off the total score. So it is up to the judge's discretion to judge them accordingly to their routine that they watched. So if I think that competitor 1, even though they dropped their weapon, outperformed, outdid, degree of difficulty was even higher, they may give a higher score to the person who dropped. Now, me personally, me as a judge, if I'm judging someone and you drop your weapon, I don't believe you should win. So my score is going to be reflected on that, But again, it is taken in consideration of your degree of difficulty, your overall performance before and after that drop. If you drop your weapon and you just pick it up and you bow and step off, then yes, I'm going my score, your score goes down to the bottom just because of that. If you pick it up and you perform a spotless routine afterwards, then yes, that is factored into your score. And again, you may be doing a form that's like form 20 and someone else does a form that's like form 1.5. The degree of difficulty of them dropping their weapon is not there. You are being penalized for dropping because you got 0.05. And I went through and I've done the math on it several different ways. There's not many times someone's going to drop their weapon, get the first place score, and still win. Okay. There's a lot of times that takes that person from first to third or first to fourth. Okay. Now it could mean that it still beats out someone that didn't drop their weapon. It's just all based on the judge's score and what they believe was the better performance. Now, in traditional divisions, you got 5 kiyas for black belts, Korean or Japanese divisions, or traditional weapons. You got 5 kiyas. Now, there's no restarts, but you are allowed to restart in weapons divisions if your weapon breaks. Also, that includes traditional. And the drop rule is in effect for traditional divisions as well. That doesn't happen very often in traditional divisions because of the nature of traditional forms being a little bit slower in routine. Now, also, no shiny weapons. So you can't have the sparkly tape around your weapon. You can't have altered weapons. You cannot have tapered weapons. So a solid wooden bow staff that has no tape on it, no shininess to it, but it still has that tapered when it goes down to, I've always called it like toothpick style. Okay. If it's, thicker in the middle and skinnier on the ends, that's tapered. You got to have the solid all the way down from top to bottom. Now, it can be, it's got to be solid wood. It doesn't mean it has to weigh 10 pounds. Okay, we're going to weigh your weapon, but the final decision is made by the arbitrator. Okay, now point sparring. Let's get to fighting. Okay, this is where Mr. Magic Johnson comes to live in our judges meeting. And he'll ask us every time. He will always ask us every single time to make sure all the judges are on point. What's a head kick? 2 points. What's a kick to the body? 1 point. What's a back fist to the head? 1 point. What's a punch to the body? 1 point. What's a spinning kick to the body? 2 points. What's a spinning kick to the head? 3 points. What's a jump spinning kick to the body or head? 3 points. What if I do a capoeira or a cartwheel kick? How many points do I get? 3 points. What if I kick you between the legs? What do I get? Penalty. Okay. Now, face masks are required in 17 and under divisions. 18 plus divisions, you do not have to wear a face mask. Now, something that I think is very, very recommended would be wearing elbow pads in the adult divisions. It's just one of those things. I blitz and you freak out and you throw up an elbow, bam, I run into it. It happens a lot. Or an elbow to the thigh or elbow to the shin when you're trying to block, and it happens. Elbow pads, I like them. Not mandatory, highly recommended. Shin guards too. That shin to shin contact, that'll make you hop around the ring for a little bit. Mr. Mark Newman, you know about that one of my black belts at the Christ School, you know about that shin to shin, and that was your son's fault. Okay. Now, when in sparring, no t-shirts. Okay, Silver Silk is one of the sponsors of TCT this year. Okay, and they make some amazing sparring uniforms, V-neck sparring uniforms, regular neck uniforms. Okay, they are shorter in sleeve, most of them. There's not a sleeve rule that has to come down below the elbow. Okay, but it has to be a sparring uniform or a traditional uniform. You can wear whatever you forms of weapons you can wear in sparring too. Okay, chest guards are also mandatory for anyone that's 17 and under as well. Okay, weigh-ins. If you are a black belt, you have to weigh in for point sparring. Have to. Okay, we have scales at the door. When you come into registration, our registration staff is trained to look and says, oh, you're a black belt, has a little icon up in the corner that says check weight. They'll ask you to step on the scale. You can take your shoes off and step up on it. Okay. Now, if your weight on your Uventex profile says 110 and you weigh in at 112, but you're in the 115 and under division, good to go. If you're 116 and you're in the 115 division, grace and mercy would probably be allowed on that. Okay, remember, all final decisions will be made by the arbitrator. But if you're 116 and you've got blue jeans on or a shirt, hoodie on, we're not going to make you take that pound of clothes off, and please don't keep it on. But we'll give you that grace and mercy, that 1 pound grace. Okay? But if you weigh in at 119, 120 for the 115 and under, we'll have to bump you up to the next one. Okay, 2-minute time limit or a 10-point spread in black belt. 2-minute time limit or 7-point spread in underbelt. Now, most points in 2 minutes or those point spreads. Ties, got to go to overtime. Next point, first point wins. Okay. Out of bounds. Both feet of the competitor is outside the boundary line, you're out of bounds. So if we're sparring, we're moving around. One of my feet goes out of bounds, I'm in bounds. Now, I can come back in and score, but what happens when I take my front foot that's still on the mat up? Well, it's off the mat, I'm out of the ring. This person can blitz me, kick me, and score. Even if I pop them first, they will get the point if the judges call it. Okay, and it will be a legal call because I was out of bounds. Downed opponent, someone slips, falls, goes to the ground, action stops immediately. Boom, done. Get back up, let's go. Every now and then, if that happens, and judge may also say stop time to help everybody get back up, get back in place, and let's go. Calling points. Okay, if you're helping out judging, calling points is like this right here. Okay, I'm center judge and action's going. I see a contact happen. What am I going to do? I'm going to say break, call. Instant. Not go back. I stand there and say, all right, fighters on the line. Judges, get ready for your call. Judges, call. Okay, nope. Break, call, stop, call. Okay, I'm on the way back. Okay, we're both on the way back to the line, right? The competitors are coming with me. Okay, break, call. Yep, one this side. Okay, say I do a technique such as a defensive side kick or back fist and land outside. Do I get the point or no because I'm out of bounds when I landed? Great question. So that is one of those that has happened in the past. Forced out versus running out. Okay, if you are forced out of bounds and I'm scoring my point, that can technically be interpreted as I was forced out as I was fighting, so I can still get the point. But Mr. Gonzalez, if I take that step out of the ring with my foot, chamber, side kick, I'm out of bounds. Okay, if I'm on the way out, boom. Okay, we're moving. They're pull kicking at me. I step and kick, and as we're going, I stumble out of bounds. No, we're good. Okay, jump spin kick, bam, and I kick and I land out of bounds. I technically did the kick and landed it while I'm in the air, while I was still technically in the ring. Kind of like when you take the last shot of the game, it's up in the air, buzzer, swish, buzzer beater. Okay, so I guess that would be the boundary beater. Okay, now falling to avoid contact, those tactics, happens all the time. Okay, center judge does not have to call a penalty to award a penalty. If I call as center, if I see a penalty and I say break, me personally, the way I do it is break, stop time. 1 point to this side for low kick. Okay. Or, 1 point to this side for this competitor running out of bounds or falling to the ground, that kind of thing. But if I say break, call, and I'm calling infraction, no call infraction, no call an infraction, I can't then override the majority vote and say point this side anyway because I saw him do a low kick. That would be just like me saying break 1 point this side. I don't care about them two. They don't need to tell me I saw the head kick 2 points this side. No. Okay. But as center, since I'm in the middle and I'm in the action, I see the infraction happen, then I can award the penalty without calling for a vote. If I call for the vote, I void my center judge authority to award a penalty point. Now, stalling can be considered, oops, I unstrapped my gear. Your gear comes unstrapped. We're not going to go, oh, penalty this side. But if it comes unstrapped, it comes unstrapped, it comes unstrapped, and you're trying to get a time of equipment time in the last 30 seconds because you're down by 3 and then that's going to be a time, point this side, stop doing that. Don't stall. Okay, now, not quickly responding to the judge's orders. So I'm up by 3. Break. Oh, let me walk back to the line. Stretch, touch my toes. Let's move. Let's keep it going. Let's get it going. Okay. Now, faking an injury. I've seen some people every now and then grab between the legs and try to get a few extra seconds, and they really got kicked in the gut or kicked in the leg. But if it's an obvious you're trying to do that to stall, then the center judge can go ahead and give that point out. Standing inactive near the coach's chair to avoid engaging. So if you're like standing, almost sitting in your coach's lap kind of thing, that's stalling. That can be this point this way. Evading contact is a new one in the rule book, and that is the last 30 seconds of the match, you're up by 3 points, and you are literally running track around the ring. You're not engaging in a martial arts fight anymore. Now, does that mean you should still be aggressive running in and risk getting a 3-point head kick or a cartwheel kick or run into 2 different head kicks? If you run into 2 different head kicks and you were up by 3, now you're down by 1. No, but your strategy should be defense and moving, not, all right, ready, fight, running track. Can't do that. Even if you stay in bounds and you are, okay, center judge at their discretion can stop, point this side. You can't run around. Mr. Mart, that is a great question. If a punch or kick clean lands at the same time, do they cancel out? Do each competitor get the appropriate points? Okay, so I see a body kick and a back fist happen, or a defensive side kick and a body punch land, and I'm pretty sure, man, it was almost exact same time. You can do this. You can do double call. Hey, point both ways. Okay. Now that's an easy. I call it an easy cop out. If I think it was close, point this way. Now I've seen judges, and it's not official in the rule that you have to do double point, or you can just say I think this one landed, or I think this one landed, or if I clash. Hey, some will say clash, no point. That's fine. Because in reality, if all 3 judges think it's a double point, what happens? Point both sides, score is equally the same value it was just a second ago. Now, evading contact, we just went over. Scoring areas are head, face, ribs, chest, and abdomen. Contact is meant to be light to moderate to the body and light to the head. Techniques, punches, kicks, ridge hands, spin kicks, aerial, legal scoring techniques. Okay. We just went over point values. We went over penalties. Okay. illegal contact, illegal techniques, contact to non-scoring areas, hitting all call after the call is stopped, running out of bounds, dropping to the floor, stalling, evading contact. Okay, foul language is an unsportsmanlike conduct. Could be immediate at 1 point or DQ decided by the center judge. If you do the same infraction 3 times during that 2-minute round, you're disqualified. Okay. Now, the center judge may award a penalty point without calling for a vote. If center judge calls for a vote, they forfeit their right for a penalty to award the penalty without the majority. Injury, if there's an injury, this is a new one that we added in. You you have 2 minutes after the medical timeout, after the medic has cleared you. Okay, if it was an ankle roll, you need to walk it off a minute, get it loosened up. Okay, you got kicked between the legs, you need to walk that off and get that, get ready to go again, that kind of thing. Bloody nose doesn't mean automatic DQ. Mr. Magic Johnson always asks us in the judges meeting, he'll say, punch to the nose and I draw blood. Does that mean this automatic DQ? No, but it's a good indication of where we're headed. Because if it is something that was deemed to be uncontrolled force, then it can end up resulting in a disqualification. Corner judges should step in between the competitor and the coach to monitor coaching. Not meant to be, you can't talk to your player. It's just meant for optics of I'm making sure that you are not talking to your player to make sure there's no unfair advantage. Okay. Time between matches. If you have to fight back to back, once we get down to the final fours, a lot of times when that happens, you can get no less than 1 minute between consecutive matches. Okay. Coach, you got to have a coach's pass or manager's pass. They will be a red band. Okay, red band is going to be the coach's pass. The manager's passes will have the lanterns. Miss Merchant will have them to give out, and you can't swap them back and forth throughout everybody throughout the day because she is contacted and asked who's using your pass, kind of thing. Now, this is a brand new rule for coaches. Okay, you are allowed to swap. Okay, I sit down, I'm coaching my competitor, and then I need to go over here to do something else. I'm called away. I can swap out with one of my other coaches, and they sit down and take my place. That is absolutely okay. That can only happen one time during the match, and it has to happen in a break in the action, not just jumping up and switching out chairs. Nobody on the sideline from my team. I sit in the coach's chair. I got Team SMA students come up that want to cheer on. I got to tell them, hey, you got to be on the other side of the ring. Got to be over there where the scorekeepers are. Okay? You got to be over there on the other side. You can't be on the same sideline. Or penalty. Now, I can start the match, center judge. I can start the match without your coach being there in the chair. We're going to wait. Great grace and mercy, right? Honor, respect. That's a two-way thing, though. Okay, if you're kind of being standoffish and being rude to the center judge, that's not going to really motivate them to go out of the way and wait for your coach to get there. We're not going to wait 4 or 5 minutes for them to get there. They can go ahead and start the match. You can have someone sit down and then they can be swapped out, or empty chair, then they can come and sit down. Okay. Now, no more than one coach on the same side. Coaches' penalties, more than telling the judges what to call. If I see boom, side kick, I can go, yes, good kick. Good job, buddy. Okay. If I see, a head kick, yeah, good kick, dude. Okay. But not, I can't go, boom, that's a 2-point call, judges. 2-point kick, 2-point kick. Now that's that line. Don't cross that line of, now you're telling a judge, that was a spin kick to the body. You got to give him 2 points. Now, however, I can protest. Okay. If, boom, 2-point head kick. Everyone says 2-point head kick. then it's a 2-point head kick. If I say 2, and then I look 1, 1 point this side because the center judge is going to keep it rolling. I saw head kick. Maybe they saw like kick to the chest. Oh, it happens, right? All right. So, okay. 1 point in the side. Ready, fight. But we'll break. Time. Okay, coach, don't stand up out of your chair. Okay. I've done that. I've been guilty. Okay. I've gotten penalized for it too. Okay. But time. I'm just trying to get the judge's attention. Time. Right then when it happened. Can you recall? Can you ask them for clarification what they saw? Because you're trying to clarify, did you see a head kick or did you see a body kick? They saw a head kick. Center, that's 2 points. Yes, it is. 2-point head kick. That is a correctable error. Okay? That is a correctable error that can be corrected up to the next match. So we can go now. If something's happening right then, I'm not going to remember what was your third call of the match. So that's why it's important to stop it right then. Time. Hey, respectfully, call time. Yes, Miss Merchant, red bands during fighting. Lanterns allow you on the floor to help your students throughout the day. Bands, coaching, sparring only. Lanterns, manager passes, you're on the floor to help manage your students. Can't coach during medical timeout, no foul language. Open rank, same procedure as point sparring, it's just open rank, white belt to black belt. We encourage black belts not to wear their belts. Okay, we won't. So underbelts cannot. Underbelts. That means white, yellow, orange, blue, green, purple, red, brown, black, or well, not black. Black's black belt. But any other belt color, you do not wear your belt in open rank sparring. Black belts, we encourage you, don't wear your rank, but black belt's a black belt. They want to wear it. You're not prohibited from wearing your belt. Okay. Now, open weight is black belt division only. You get to compete in with the other black belts, same age group, and just different weight classes. Most of the male weight classes are a 3 weight class system: light, middle, heavy. Okay, so you can fight all of them. Okay, team sparring procedure is youngest to oldest or lightest to heaviest if it's in the adults. Now, self-defense follows the same as forms and weapons. Demo team, same situation. Breaking, we just did the whole breaking division rule set the other day. Biggest new thing is we have a 20 by 40 tarp, and you do not have to provide the tarp. Also, we have no time limit on setting up your routine due to having those 2 rings that are there. Okay. You can utilize that entire 20 by 20 space. It is sectioned off. 20 by 20 here, 20 by 20 here. You can use that whole 20 by 20 space for your setup. They can use this hole for their setup. This competitor breaks first. When they're done, they get their stuff, put it into the bin that's going to be beside the tarp. Next competitor, third competitor can go ahead and start setting up. Second competitor, go ahead and start their break. The judges will move to there to watch, and then move back to watch, and then move to watch. Okay, so the center judge, the arbitrator, the coordinator of the breaking area can add a deduction, can disqualify if you are being defiant to the time limit rule. What is the time limit rule? There's no time limit. If you're holding up the I thought there was a phrase I was looking for, but if you're holding up the speed of process, the play, the sequence of play, that kind of thing, you holding it up, you will be penalized. 0.05 deduction or disqualified. Okay. But hopefully that won't happen. Okay, we'll get to going. 4 breaks are required, 8 breaks max. You got to break. You got to have one of those breaks with a kick, and you only get 2 attempts. Third attempt is a DQ, just safety. Don't try it for the third time. Okay, make sure you're setting up when you're setting up breaking, you're setting it up to where you're not going to break something that flies into the judge's face or right to the spectators that are over here to the left or to the right. Okay. Grands. We have rules now. We have rules for grands. It was not in the rule book. It's just always a gray area and gentleman's rule kind of thing. Now, all TCT tournaments have an option of running grands for forms and weapons for all ranks, sparring grands for black belts. Additional grands may be ran by the promoter. Grands divisions do not earn points for the end of the year championships. Awards, promoters will determine prizes and awards for these divisions. Procedure is the same as any kind of forms and weapons division. Now, notification will be sent out by Uventex and or announced on a microphone when it's time for the Grands divisions to be staged. It's your responsibility to come in a timely manner to check in for Grands. We're not going to give you a call, a final call, 2-minute warning kind of thing. We're going to call Grands. We're going to announce Grands. Everyone's going to come set up for Grands, check it in. And if you're not there, we will run Grands without you being checked in. So it's vital to keep aware of Uventex notifications and microphone notifications. If you won multiple divisions that qualify for the same Grands, say so if we split Grands and it's creative Grands, you won creative, you won traditional. Your traditional is not going to be popped up in creative. If you want creative weapons and creative forms, those divisions will be populated. Your name will be on the screen twice. You have to choose before the shuffle which one you want to do, because it's not just your name that's there, that is the division that is there. Okay, so that would have been someone else's name if they wouldn't have won first place. So this division, I want to do my creative weapons. Okay, coordinator will check creative weapons. So when it shuffles, your name may be all the way down here that's unchecked because of you chose to do weapons and not forms, but your forms is up here and you have to go first. You can't go, I changed my mind. I want to do this. Nope, you chose it before the shuffle. Okay, once the shuffle happens, it's done. That will be before the sequence is decided. Forms and weapon grands. If you didn't win music, you can't add music to it. Can't do it. Now, if you drop the weapon, you drop your weapon in grands, it's an automatic lowest score. Okay, 980 for underbelts and 990 for black belts. So if you drop it, you're done. That's grands. We're in the grands now. This is not regular eliminations. This is for the grand championship prize, whether it's money or a special award or a special award and money, or if it's a free trip to Cancun, whatever is going to be offered. I heard Caleb's giving away trips. Maybe trip to the awards table. I could have heard that wrong. But scoring for grands, same procedure as no, sorry, I read that wrong. I was about to say scoring procedure is the same procedure as point sparring. It's like, but sparring grands follows the same rules and procedures as regular point sparring. Okay, then I have the code of conduct listed in the rules, just put in black and white how we expect everyone to act and behave and conduct themselves at a martial arts tournament. It's different. Okay, it's different than a kids baseball or softball or basketball or a different sport, and then you have them parents on the sideline just yelling, just being nasty to the other team or nasty to the coaches or the refs or umpires. Okay? Now there's plenty of times to where maybe I felt like it was, or mama felt like it was, judge made a bad call or a bad decision. I promise you, the judges that we have at our events are are not are not singling out your baby to give the lowest score because you know what? I don't like you, or I don't like his coach. Okay, our judges, we've watched over the last few seasons, a lot of our judges that are regulars at all these tournaments, they love your kids just like they're their students. You know, they get to watch them grow and compete and go through the years of all the competition. Yeah, that is why uh, everyone that's in the older generation above me is saying that I'm still a youngin. I'm still I don't have all the gray hair yet and kind of stuff because they've seen me grow up competing in this region of the United States in our southeast region since I was 4 years old, and I'm now 37. So this is my 33rd year. Hey, Caleb can't spell Cancun. Mr. Addison, I love your comments on our lives. It's fantastic. Now, so we've got the rule book printed, ready to go. We'll have some rules at a glance kind of thing floating around. So if someone has a question, you don't have to flip through the rule book kind of thing. The rules are always on our website. We don't really update the rules during the season. We're about to start. Okay, we're about to start the season. Okay, now, uh-oh. I think this might be a a spammer or a rage baiter, or this is the first time I've had something like this. And if you're watching the live right now, you may see the comment. I won't name drop the name that is listed on here. Actually, guys, sorry. This is a comment from my YouTuber. Yes, tctsportmartialarts.com. Thank you, Miss Merchant. Miss TCT Commissioner Merchant. So YouTube, Rage Baiter here. Hi, am I allowed in here? I'm a registered offender, so I can't talk to minors online. Well, yes, you're absolutely allowed on my live stream because I'm not a minor either. And no, you wouldn't be allowed into any of the events because of that. And I'm sorry if that is a true statement. That's a legality thing. That's not a we don't like you as a person thing. That's just how it is. Okay. And just to put it into a different perspective, if a felon goes to jail, does their time, whatever, and gets out and lives their life upstanding by the law and has a complete change in direction, they still don't get the vote. They still don't get to buy firearms. Okay? If you have a crime against a minor and you're on some type of thing, then no, you're not going to be around minors. And that's, that's just how it is. It doesn't mean I don't like you personally, but it happens. Yeah, it was on YouTube because I'm double streaming. I'm on my YouTube channel and I'm on the TCT Facebook. So I see the little red play button now. But you know, and we went over that, and yeah, it wouldn't pop up on the Facebook page. Now it's trolling. It's because of the rule. Yeah. Guys, listen. I've said this many times. Uh, just this is not something that I feel that even needs to be a topic of discussion. It's weird that it has been because of things that's happened in our sport recently. But the main thing that is everybody's concerned is the safety of our kids at these tournaments. You watch students at tournaments, they are interacting with each other and they're running around, they're playing in between their divisions, or they if it's at a gym style um in a basketball gym, they'll go chill out up in the bleachers. They'll go hang out in the lobby area. if it's at a hotel, they're running and playing in the lobby. It's a safe environment because of the integrity of martial arts and the character that we try to hold ourselves to. And that goes back to what Mr. Caleb Addison wants me to say at least one time every live stream is we have to have black belt excellence. Okay? And that is something that is true. Something that I remember vividly as a 15-year-old that was volunteering at the dojo at the time and not getting paid yet was I am vacuuming. I'm vacuuming and I'm doing it just like a 15-year-old boy would vacuum. And like, man, they asked me to vacuum. I'm doing this. Well, then I hear a Josh. I was like, "Oh, yes." And it was none other than my boss, my one of my instructors, Coach Nikki Carlson Lee. And if you know her and her reputation of how she handled herself in the ring for a whole decade, um, yeah, it scared me pretty good. And she said, she asked me one simple question. She just looked at me and said, "What are you doing?" I said, uh, "Vacuuming, ma'am." She said, "Like that?" She said, "Is that how a black belt would vacuum?" I'm like, "Oh, yes. No, ma'am, it's not. Sorry." And I went to vacuuming perfect, straight line. Okay. Oops. And now, black belt excellence. We do everything with integrity. We do everything with honor and respect. We do have grace and mercy. Okay. Now, but there are boundaries. There are boundaries that are clearly set. Okay. I barely got away with having an axe kick. I listen, I've received axe kicks when I was a kid in the 90s. That's how, you know, she axe kicked me several times. Now, the great story that I have of sparring with Coach Nikki was our Wednesday night fight nights. If you were around in the 90s, that was a legendary thing at SMA. We had people come from all over to come spar with us on Wednesday nights. Our coach Brian Plimple was on Team Paul Mitchell. Coach Nikki was one of the best female fighters of all time. We come from Coach Marty Knight, who's one of the greatest of all times as well. And so we just had and Coach Rick, I mean, he made a name for himself on the Chuck Norris sparring team that went to Russia and China and all over the country. And, we were a fighting school. You had Coach Nate Windsor, had Matt Everett and Jerry Jackson Jr. And, all these, I mean, I can name drop probably 30 people from SMA that were amazing fighters. And people would just come and fight with us on Wednesday night. Well, fast forward to early 2000s, and Coach Nikki is had been retired for some time off the mat, and had two kids, and running the after school program, and making it to be, we grew it. She and Rick grew it to 170 after schoolers, before the fire happened and they, retired. But I mean, she was sitting over on the sideline putting her pads on. And I was the young buck. You know, it might have been because I wasn't vacuuming the right way. She did come out to the mat. But she was sitting there padding up and they're all over there. All the other coaches are kind of elbowing me, say, "Hey, you gotta fight her first." I said, No, I don't." Like, "Yeah, you're the young guy. You're the young guy on the, you're the lowest ranked instructor. You gotta fight her." And they were like, "Come on, she hasn't sparred in so long. You're fine." I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "You're right." I say, "You're right." Bump gloves. I doing the respectful, like I'm fighting someone that's older, bounce, and then ready, ding, pow, axe kick. I'm on the ground. Everyone's like, "Oh!" I'm just looking at them, go, "I hate y'all." And then I proceeded to. I would have got penalized for evading and running around the ring for the next however long the bell was. But it was awesome to just how she was off the mat for so long, came right back on and boom, just axe kicked. And I wish I would have synced it and not felt it, but I did. Mr. Sam, can't wait to see you in TCT soon, man. It's going to be a great year. We're going to do big things this year. Hope you have a good night at work. Okay. And Miss Merchant, thank you for still being on here with us. Guys, I'm just taking a break right now. This is a break time for me. I've been nonstop all day, and it's really like this is the day before the tournament, and I've done over an hour live stream, and if you know me, this is a whole new world for me. I'm usually panicking right now doing about 10 different tasks because I've procrastinated them. And I've been prepared for this, making sure this, crossing the T's, dotting the I's, dotting the T's and crossing the I's and doing all kind of stuff. And this is going to be a great weekend. It's going to be an awesome kickstart. My number one thing that I want everyone to bring to the tournament is that big time feel, that energy. Bring the energy. I want people clapping and cheering for everybody. It doesn't matter if they're from your school, someone else's school, they're competing against you. Okay, that's one of the things that I loved as a competitor. We would hype each other up, cheering each other on, yelling, screaming, and having a great time. It was intense. We had some intense competition, but that was on the mat. And we wanted to see each other do the best that we could. Cheered each other on, had a great time. If we won, we won. If we didn't, we were actually excited for the other person that won because they won. They deserved it. They beat us. Now, I hesitate. Yeah. Now, all the way. Oh no, Coach Mercutio, happy birthday from the other day, sir. And no, I did not talk about continuous yet. And I do, I do have your notes about the corrections that need to be made for your students, and I am going to do that when we're off the live stream. And continuous is Saturday. I've got the old school clickers ready to rock and roll. Was going to play around with the Uventex score clickers, but for one ring of the digital clickers, it was like $1,000. So before we pull the trigger on that, I want to make sure this is something that's going to be good. And so no, old school clickers from Amazon was a lot easier for that. Okay. Now, if I'm corner judge, I'm watching blue player round one. Head kick, 2 points. Head kick, 2 points. Punch, punch, punch. Kick, punch, punch, punch. Head kick, spin kick to the body. Okay, I'm just clicking the whole time. Got to be contact. Boom. Face contact is allowed. Everyone's wearing a face shield in the juniors division. Okay. Adults, light contact anyway. You will be called out for heavy contact. So face contact is okay because you can punch each other in the face. It is sparring. Okay. And then now and 4 punches. Yeah, that's different than the NBL because we do follow like the guideline of NBL for a lot of our stuff. That was kind of like our base model of tournament style. But 4 punches. So I can throw 1, 2, 3, 4, throw the kick, 1, 2, 3, 4, bounce and break, 1, 2, 3, 4, throw the kick, 1, 2, 3, 4. But I was talking to my students about this the other day. They're competing in it. To do that for a minute straight, that's tough. Okay, so exchanges are encouraged. Punch, 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 kick, back, move, circle, ready, punch, 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 block, move. Okay, and just keep the action going. You don't have to stop. Center judge is only going to stop the action when there's too many punches thrown, or the contact is getting a little elevated, or you step out of bounds, or someone falls down, or at the end of the round. Now, in between rounds, you'll go to your coach. I'll say, what'd you get for red player? All right, add it. What'd you get for blue player? Scorekeeper, add it. Now, corner judge, you're now watching red player for round two. Corner judge, you're now watching blue player for round two. Okay, 2 1-minute rounds. Okay, 2 1-minute rounds. The time in between is however long it takes to get the scores added. And if I say come back to middle, you can call a timeout right then. Time. All right, coach, you go. Count, count, count. So there's no break in time during the actual match. Okay, it's continuous. It's just like kickboxing, just like MMA. Okay, I can't, even if the judge the center ref breaks the action or stands them up and brings them back over, corner can't say, "Hey, can I get a timeout for a second?" Nope. Continuous action. We're going. We're going. We're going. Talk in between rounds. Okay. Now, winner goes on to the next round, fights the next person. It is this time. It is open rank, open weight, so that is a big wide range that may scare away some of the lower rank competitors right now. But this is just filling it out. See who likes it. See if people are interested in competing in continuous style sparring at TCT events. If it's something that people like, we might add more skill levels to it. We may add some weight classes for the adults to it. But this is all just a feeler. See how you like it, kind of thing. At the Addison's next month, we're going to have some power breaking divisions. Okay, so sign up if it's something that people are liking, people are wanting. We're going to add that to divisions. If the competitors are interested in it, that's something we're going to take in consideration because we are the competitors tour. We're TCT. We are here for the competitor. And having grown up being competitor, being judge, being coach, being the dad on the sideline, okay, watching my boys, okay, I want the best experience for everybody. Okay? And that's one of the things we're trying to do is increase the experience for everyone. This weekend at the Greenville Convention Center, it might even look like it's a small event because we're going to be in a big space and a lot of people. But when I say big space, I don't mean like 2 basketball floors. I mean, we're in a 125,000 square foot facility. Okay? And we're not having vendors. We're not having a lot of that. We have concessions. Okay? No outside food and drinks. Okay? It has to be there. What? Sorry. My supervisor was talking to me. Cashless. The concessions is cashless. Okay, so plan accordingly. Okay, all the judges will have a voucher for the concession stands. Okay, and we will have. My plan is to grow into this space over the next few seasons to increase it. And my vision for this event, if you've been around for a while, my inspiration is a Bill Viola style event, a Kumite Classic style event that's got the fitness, the expo, the weightlifting, the martial arts, the maybe even like a jujitsu competition. May have a breaking tournament, jujitsu tournament, karate tournament, bikini contest. I will not enter that, I promise. But bodybuilding contest, fitness expo, okay, water bottles. Yes, you can have water bottle for for sparring. Yes, absolutely. Okay, and they will have that's part of their menu is making sure they are selling waters as well. Now, will I, Coach Mercutio, what kind of question is that? Will I have energy drinks? I'm going to be running on energy drinks the whole weekend. And yes, I will have you one cold, ready to go when you are there Saturday morning. I promise. Okay? Yeah, boxing event, even a little pro wrestling action. Okay? Now, I was working on a Power Ranger coming out for this event, but they have some other commitments. This is a big convention season right now. A few weeks later, at the Greenville Convention Center, there is a big Comic Con, the SC Comic Con. So they will be right back into that building, with all of us nerds uniting and morphing and having a lot of fun. But we are going to have a lot of fun at the Great Southeast Martial Arts Open this weekend, and I hope to see you guys there. Thank you for joining me for tonight's impromptu episode rules meeting. Okay. Miss Merchant, I have your very own copy of the brand new rule book so you can have with you. And guys, I will see everybody tomorrow. We are going to start open registration at 12 noon. Anybody that's traveling, coming out of town, taking the day off, come in there. Okay. Then come on in, come hang out. Okay. Breakers, come set up. bring your material in. We're going to be ready to rock and roll when everyone gets there. Yes, Mr. Mark. Need to get Monster Energy as a sponsor, along with All Star Pawn and Gold. Hey, you're absolutely right. Gold and Pawn. I said it backwards. All Stars Gold and Pawn. Mr. Mark Newman is the owner of All Star Gold and Pawn, and he is one of our sponsors. I'm glad you said that because also our sponsors are Play It Again Sports and 2020 Auto Glass and where'd it go? Oh, Harris Automotive. LN4 Drakes. Yes. Harris Automotive is a automotive repair service shop in Spartanburg, owned by my in-laws, and they have been in business for over 40 years, serving the upstate of South Carolina. Play It Again Sports, the one right here in Spartanburg, has a lot of martial arts gear that comes through from Spartanburg Martial Arts and other schools in the area. 2020 Auto Glass is owned by Mr. Matt Bailey, who is also a black belt at SMA, and so is his son. And All Star Golden Pawn Shop. I got the microphone I use on when I'm at the dojo came from his store, and Mr. Mark Newman is one of the black belts at SMA, and his son is on his way up and coming, and going to be in our novice teenage divisions for sparring this weekend. Excited to see him on the mat, and well, now it's time to go get a shave and a haircut. Okay, from my lovely supervisor and wife and co-promoter, Miss Ashley Bailey. She's also a cosmetologist on the side and customer service and at the dojo, and works a full-time job at Spartanburg Water in their new connections department, and the president of their engagement committee for the time being. I'm just hyping her up now.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Vendors, not. I was open to vendors, having them out this year. Not having any vendors this year, so there's not going to be any martial arts vendors on hand. But we will have some chest guards and face masks to float around if we need to. We're always open to loan those out and help everybody out, not penalize you because maybe you didn't research the rule, or you're competing in a different circuit and you should come to ours and you're like, oh, sorry, I forgot, I didn't know. Yes. Okay. And Mr. Scott Bailey. Yes, Scott Bailey will be on hand as security. Hey, my older, wiser brother. We'll say wiser. I'm making you feel good too. All right, guys. I'm done. I hope you guys have a good night. I'm excited. This is going to be a fantastic weekend. And we are going to be covered by the mat. So, with Black Belt Excellence, we will see you on the mat.